I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, welcome back everyone to this special session of Doomsday Aftermath. Today we are not rejoining the party, but rather jumping into Dago World, Viv's home plane, as they deal with the aftermath of Wayne being run down by the Red Death and exploded into pink mist. Now he is dead and his soul has been claimed via Viv's Reaper friends, and so um, they're going to just kind of go over some of the specifics of what happened, role play events, and introduce the new Wayne, third Wayne, Wayne Wayne 3.0. Uh,
We call him EX Neo.
yeah. So, as you guys know, Wayne, the last thing you saw was uh, the alternate reality uh, Red Death joining. Oh man, brain fart! Help me out here. Who are you visiting?
The Terminator or Exterminator?
Eradicator. Yes, yes. Red Death was helping Eradicator, and that's the last thing you saw. So you are next conscious as you move between planes with a guide, a companion. They have you um, restrained, but not violently. You're not like shackled and hogtied, but you are inside of a force field like containment that apparently you cannot escape, at least in this soul form. And so you're just kind of along with the ride, but your soul being killed and reborn so many times has made it resilient enough to where you wake up halfway through the ride, which is way faster than most beans. So your Reaper guide is probably a little surprised when it sees your eyes open. But yeah, what do you guys do and say?
Hurt less than I thought it would.
Really? These words are intoned by your attending Reaperoid. This one seems to be one of the more, how should I say, traditional lookers. They have the black cloak and the scythe, although their winning skull seems quite cyberized. This creature walks with you, held in hand, through an empty white space. There's not much you can see outside of him. Whether that's really what the environment looks like or a limitation of your containment, you don't know. But you've drawn their attention by speaking. And what did you expect it to feel like?
Dying? I thought it hurt a lot more.
No. I suppose it depends how. The process of dying, depending on how you get there, can be very painful. But for someone like you, well, you tend to die all at once.
So what now?
Ordinarily, I'd ferry you straight to the core, but your soul has been marked for special collection. I'm supposed to be dropping you off in the desk of one Agent Vivitharian. Apparently, they would like to personally ferry your soul to the center. What a treat. Makes my job easier.
And I guess there's no one I'd rather see for the last time.
Oh, don't make it sound so final. Certainly, your curtain call has come, but it's only because Act 1 is over. You have quite a few more pages to your play.
Am I gonna still be me on the other side or whatever? Just sort of a vague pseudopod gesture, like the formless kind of gesture to the cybernetics.
Mm-hmm. They say, well, as far as you will know, you will be you. Reality and magic will find you to be a different being, but you'll still feel a start and an end. Deep into your past you begin, and far into your future you'll still be you. It'll be like going to sleep and waking up. Unless you aren't the same person you wake up.
Yeah, I suppose there's no sense worrying about it.
Yes, quite.
How's about you shake my jar when we get to Viv, huh? Wait, take a little nap.
Shake your... Yes. We'll be there soon. If I know anything about younger agents, she's probably already waiting to receive you. All right. We'll be there soon now. That come through clearly?
Yeah, Wynn's just sort of drifted in and out of consciousness. It's not exactly
No,
stable
Discord
to
dropped me to red for a split second, so I thought I might have been roboting.
Nope, no roboting.
Okay. Then after a moment, they seem to step through nothing in particular and arrive in a, how should I say? This room is like a mix of an audience hall and a desk. Like a desk office. Simultaneously, the desk itself is like a structure of power, with lots of room to look down upon and lord over the rest of this room. It is otherwise an empty room, though, with only one other being in it, Viv, who sits in a chair behind said desk. Their hands are neatly knit together, and they look to the Reaperoid. They say something, but strangely, it doesn't come out as intelligible. The Reaperoid responds in kind. They communicate like this, completely in gibberish. And the Reaperoid then looks down and, speaking directly to you again, goes like, "Well, I leave you in her care." And kind of drops your containment, seemingly a geometric crystalline formation of energy, into her waiting hand.
Well, I didn't think I'd be here today.
Viv looks down, but they don't respond. They just kind of close their hand. Darkness reigns for a moment. You can feel a tugging and pulling on your soul, something moving you around. And then, after a moment, you feel eyes that aren't yours open. You're seeing out through Viv's perspective. And they finally speak to you, going, "You'll have to excuse this. I don't have any other way to communicate with you for the moment."
Oh, what is this?
I'm letting your soul inhabit my body for a moment. Passenger only.
I feel like I should have bought you extra plate and dinner first. My bad.
Shut it. Besides, you want to buy me something nice and do it afterwards. Anyway. So, are you ready for what this entails? I'll be taking you back to my home plane now. Again. This time, you're meeting the big man. The one who sits at the top.
I feel underdressed.
Oh. Most do before his gaze.
What am I in for?
No sense. A talk. He has a particular interest in a soul like yours. That's why it was marked for priority collection. I'm sure he'll have some wisdom of some sort he can impart. And then you'll be remade, given a new special and handcrafted body.
Oh, you get to get turned into a construct.
Yes, baby. Yes. Please hush hush. We're open recording right now.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Anyway. So, with that, Viv stands. They wave a hand as they do, and open a portal. They step into the Dagian plane once again, arriving in a white room with a black circle on the ground. They step on over, state their name into a panel on the wall, and a door slides open. There they enter a kind of lobby area with various others on this plane sitting around and waiting, and proceed out through another door. Once they are out, they find themselves on what can basically be described as a sidewalk next to a road a very, very long and black road, flanked on all sides by lush green plain. Deep in the distance, there is a giant gray complex of a hexagonal shape. Viv simply begins walking in that direction. It's a very long walk.
What's it smell like out here?
The smell is not. How should I say? It's a very neutral scent. I'm sure you've been somewhere where there's grass and trees, but beyond that, it's a very, very pure form of that scent. There's only one kind of grass, nothing around. Or maybe not. Now and then, Viv glances to the side, and there seems to be something moving around in this tall green grass. But they don't seem to comment on it, just looking back to the road as they proceed forward.
This is part of it, huh?
The home plane has about the same surface area as Neptune, but most of it is green field, like you see here. Back in the day, all this naturally formed terrain was used for resource generation. We tore up the earth and mined it for minerals and materials, back when that sort of thing was necessary. We still have droids who do that sort of thing. They're essentially outmodes, but it's what they enjoy. One of the benefits of being built for a purpose. Doesn't really matter what we do with the stuff now.
Am I gonna be made into something with a purpose?
To an extent. I believe, how should I say? Part of what makes you unique is that your soul possesses certain immutable qualities. Namely, the process will change you. You will be altered, but you will remain in certain intrinsic ways yourself. Your soul will brush up against his will, but how much that actually changes you, well, I should say it'll almost be like you get to decide. Oh, he might use different words.
Did this happen to you before you were created?
No. I was made from scratch, you see. I did not have a life before I became, an android. I technically worked a different job when I was created. I was made for desk duty, civil android. But I did that for a very, very long time. You could call it eons, essentially. Ages. And I just wanted to do something new. So I applied for a change of position and went from senior administrative civil android to hunter class android.
Every time you tell that story, it gets a little more relatable, knowing where you're from.
Yeah. I'm glad you could see it a little bit like that. Oh. Want to know any other pressing grass field related questions while we're out here? It is always a bit of a boring stroll.
No, this is... my senses have kind of been an intrinsic part of how I saw the world, and now I don't know if I'm ever gonna be a creature in that sort of spot again.
If you need a strong nose to be comfortable, you'll have one in your next body. I'm sorry you have to do with my more human scope one for now.
It's just I don't know if I do, and I don't know if I should miss it.
That's always an interesting question to ask. I guess the truth is I don't know. He'll know, though. The next body you get, it won't automatically be the one that you ask for. It'll be the one that you need, as far as you can tell. No, that sounds... No. It might make a sort of uncomfortable feeling, but trust me when I say he's a god of knowing things. And even if it's something intimate, you'll probably know it better than thee.
Will we ever be able to go back?
I'd ask what you mean, but the answer is more or less yes, regardless.
I would have felt a lot more regret than not being able to smell about not being able to say goodbye.
Yeah. I figured it would have been weird. Actually, it's going to be weird regardless. Gotta let you in on something. The other you is back. The one from hell.
Oh, that's good. I thought I was leaving you guys on the back foot there. If we got Wizard Wayne around, it shouldn't be an issue.
Well, someone robbed him of a lot of his memories. He's pre-split. None of the wizarding. Actually, getting him up to speed's been a small little chore. And the truth is that, as far as they know, you received some sort of mighty case of amnesia, whatever happened to you, but are still alive. And that's not technically wrong, even though it's not a correct examination of what you went through.
Well, Digger's gonna have some fucking words from me about my use of time magic, isn't he?
Probably not. In truth, though he finds the magic, what's the term? Vulgar. He also never gave you any sort of order or mandate not to use it. So long as you follow the rules moving forward, it will be completely ignored. Oh, yes, I should say. One thing that's going to be obvious from the upcoming arrangement is that he will expect loyalty. Well, he'll demand it in so many words. And I don't know how much of a person of faith you are, but, pretend if it doesn't happen in your heart.
I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm gonna be talking to a god. I expected at least a little bit of that.
He's not the type to show up and, demand temples and worship, but in this little one-on-one you're going to have, he'll take a keen interest in you. Time is so odd here. We'll be arriving soon. The moment I get to the edge of the building, I'm going to have a portal mage take me deeper to the center. From there on, I'll just, get through the Grims and drop you off around back. I haven't been invited to attend the meeting personally.
You have or haven't?
Haven't.
Oh, then I guess, ship a thesis here. I should say some kind of goodbye in case I come out fundamentally different.
If that's what you feel is necessary. Is my mic picking up my girlfriend by any chance?
Very vaguely.
Okay, whatever. Viv just goes, fucking studio microphone, picking everything in the house up. Anyway, Viv just goes, well, I won't think of it as much of a goodbye. We're going to see each other again, even if you're different. This type of transformation is just normal around here. But I'll hear your goodbye if you still want to say it.
Well, if you're going to take it as a goodbye, I suppose I won't say it, but I will. Before you put me back in my tube, at least, thanks for everything, and I'll see you later.
I'll catch you on the other side. You'll come strolling out with a fresh new body, straight from the pools. It'll be a magical thing. Alright. We're here. One moment. Viv then enters a bit of short talk with a portal mage. They whistle when they hear the destination, and Viv hands over some more of those triangular gray credits. They tap their staff and open an, interplanar portal, moving from one position to the next. Suddenly, Viv arrives in a very large circle. The center of this room is dominated by a circular elevator, which they step onto and thumb some inputs into a console. They go down, 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 and eventually stop. Arriving somewhere, they are greeted by two more of those Reaperoids, or assumedly. One looks like the one you saw earlier, though taller, more imposing somehow, possibly an older model. The one standing to the side of him looks vaguely the part, but he's completely different in the way that he's actually dressed, and his armaments are something else. Paired firearms and some sort of short cylindrical baton-like things hang off his hips. In either event, Viv simply describes that they're carrying a special soul directly to the pools. The two nod and wave her through. Viv walks a few more paces, moving through this, again, white room. It's a noted thing that a lot of core and important infrastructural rooms seem to have this stark white look about them. They seem unnaturally stable, smooth in ways things shouldn't be. But as this thought reaches its end, you feel that tugging again, once more. Suddenly, you find yourself back in Viv's hand. They say something unintelligible again, and kind of hold you out at the end of their arm's length. Looking about, you realize you're being held above a swirling black, it's more like a sparkling black-gray pool. Like a giant moving mass of ferrofluids. And they drop you. Tumbling, moving down. Your gem lands with a splash. And then everything starts to melt. You lose that odd, fully disembodied feeling that you had. You're in some sort of black space. You can't see or hear much of anything, but suddenly it's like you're standing on solid ground. Your feet find something.
Oh, this was. I did not expect sensation.
As that rings through you, you do find that the words actually come out of your mouth and that you can hear them. After another moment, you see something. The space, it goes from black to gray to white. Not the perfect liminal quatre that you've been seeing. It's like a hazy white. Suddenly, it seems like you're standing in a room filled with fog. The floor is beneath you, and there's not much else around, but it finally feels like you're in a space. As the appearance of fog solidifies in your vision, you suddenly start to feel the air, the coldness of it, that crisp, foggy feeling. Feels like you're inhabiting something again.
Can he?
Babe, you two, come on.
Do you not hear him?
I know because I'm focusing.
Can he
Sorry,
see
what were you going to
he's
say? Holy shit.
in? Can he see what he's inside now? Like, is it his body? Is it another body? Like, what is he? What is he?
You're not even supposed to have
Oh
games
my-
today. Why am I having to be quiet?
Oh my god. Anyway, looking down, what he can see is that he's inhabiting what looks like a vague imprint of his old body. Like, if I were to make it as simple an explanation, it's like he's Ghost Wayne. Just sort of a pale blue shadow of what he used to be.
All right, Force Ghost. The surprises keep coming. Do I go somewhere?
Hmm. As that question rings out, there comes a response. You hear words and know their meaning. And not only that, it's really obvious who speaks them. The voice fills the space. It echoes around, and as this being speaks, reality itself just seems to ever so slightly shudder.
Oh,
It responds in kind, saying, "Is there somewhere you think you should be?"
uh, look, big guy. This is my first time going through the process. I'm just along for the ride.
This is a place of discovery. One where I discover you, and you may find me. So tell me, what do you think should be in this space? You will be spending some time in it.
A couch would be nice.
Say a couch.
Yeah. Give me one
At
second.
that mentioning. Okay.
Sorry about that. Got the low battery from one of my headphones. Wanted to switch so I wouldn't miss anything.
Ah, okay. Anyway. As you mentioned that, essentially, it's like you detected out of the corner of your eye, but something just barely seems to form at the edge of the fog. Looking to it, you find a couch. It's a familiar couch. Familiar, yet not familiar in ways. It seems like the couch that was in Viv's much smaller personal pocket dimension a long time ago, back before it was upgraded to Viv Town. Spent a fair amount of time on that couch at one point.
Platonic ideal of a couch.
Yes, it's like an office couch. That black faux leather look.
We don't sit down if only to feel something, like more something than just feet and space and fog.
Mm-hmm. And so it speaks again, stating, So, Wayne, I have certain amounts of information about you. During this process, I will ask you some questions, and I will ask them to hear the answer you have to give. Very simple as a way of starting. What do you know of me?
Like everything, or just the cliff notes.
The parts that you deem relevant.
You're some kind of law god. You help regulate things on a bigger scale than I knew existed before the first time I came here. You made Viv. You made all the androids. And now you're gonna make me into something not dissimilar to that.
These things are correct. Very pertinent details. Tell me, what do you know of our stated goals and intention? The ultimate intended outcome of this administration?
To keep everything everywhere from going a little belly up.
That is in service to the grander goal. The goal in of itself is very simple. Preserving reality so that, in the end, mortal life continues to exist and that mortal creatures retain the capacity to make decisions. That mortals make decisions is the most important component of material reality anywhere. in essence. Things must exist so that the concept of free will itself can be upheld. This is the ultimate goal.
Seems like a good enough goal for me. Kind of what I've been doing, but on like a big scale.
Heroes, as it happens, I would describe you as such, tend to be a compatible enough fit for this process.
Means more than I thought it would to hear that from you.
Wow. That you place import upon my words is an important and necessary thing to recognize. It's a step in the right direction. Well, before I begin the ultimate process of changing you and laying to you your oncoming duties and requirements, you are in the presence of a god of knowledge. I would, at this juncture, accept some questions from you, should you have them. Some of them I can answer, and some of them I cannot. More than likely simply because there are some things you would better be left not knowing. Still.
Yeah, I'm talking about depth of options, huh?
The problem is choice.
Uh,
At least that's what he said.
Does free will like feed you directly, or is it like a cycle, or just an intrinsic part of things existing?
Free will at the cosmic level is essentially motion. Motion is required for life, complex things. Without free will, there is essentially nothing. It is possible to liken it to water. If you have a pond with nothing in it, and the water is completely still, completely placid, there is, in essence, nothing to the pond. It cannot host anything. It can only be something of note once something is added to it. Free will is that something, far as reality is concerned. Without the maintenance of that concept, everything else slows down and then stops. Even beings like myself would eventually grind down and cease to be anything. An unreactant reality driving something like me to no longer have any real function. It would take a very, very long time. But were I alone in this reality, in all realities, eventually I would simply cease. And then everything will have ended. But, yes, free will is necessary simply because it is necessary. I myself gain no direct or intrinsic benefit from the maintenance of this cause.
I see. I get you. I'd hate to move from very big to very small, but Why me for this? Why do I have value?
Your existence exists within a very, very narrow field. The mathematics of it are, well, it's not possible for me to put it to you in numbers, but to say that in a reality of infinite and unending possibilities, omniversal in scope, so far beyond the realms of knowing that it even partially eludes my mind, there are a select number of uniques. In fact, there's only hundreds of thousands of them, a truly infinitesimal number. They have a spark of potential about them, something truly special. They are the keys to creating things, true myth and legend. Your soul possesses such a quality. By bringing you into my folds, I gain something. Something that is hard to quantify, but is infinite in its value. If I found 10 gods, and 20 greater demons, and put them all together, they would be very unlikely to have near the power you will have in the future.
Can you this is a nitty gritty question. Where's I don't even know if you know the name. Where's Trigon fall in the estimation of greater or lesser demon?
Trigon would be how should I say, beyond the scope of a greater demon. He's a low cosmic threat. Greater deity. Just powerful enough to affect things at a grand scale, but only that powerful. He's the beginning of what we would consider a noticeable threat, something that draws our attention. And as I'm sure you know of the Dark Forest, just powerful enough to be noticed is not a position you want to be in.
Absolutely not. Ugh. I just kind of wanted a sense of scale there, you know. But if they got questions, what is Scylla? What is she gonna be in your estimation?
Oh, that was pretty.
Scylla is likely to become a standard godling, a more combat-oriented one. Some of her skills were passed down from our foremost elites. The sword is not a weapon that I am greatly familiar with, yet it is one of strange potency. At the highest level, simple tools can be made unfathomably powerful and complex if you know how to create them. My oldest and most senior of my godling class is a sword wielder. Oh, her name was the S-Star. So it will likely be something akin to her. The divine slayer meant to kill inconvenient gods.
What am I gonna be in this whole bureaucracy of balance?
You will become a hunter. Your immediate rank will be Hunter 4, the lowest of those. You will be placed under Viv. What you become ultimately is not for the realms of my knowing. That very quality that makes your soul unique also makes it difficult for me to fully grasp you. In truth, Not even your mind, even though it is right before me, is something I can know in its entirety. There is something wholly unknowable about you, and it is from that potential comes.
That's the chaos, I think.
Ah, yes. One can actually liken it to a tiny amount of that primordial chaos. But old chaos and I have a very complex relationship. To put it simply, although the two are likenable, it is not an aspect of chaos itself.
I mean, I'd hope not. I just sort of meant as a descriptor.
Yes, it's a fair comparison. I'd
All
like to
right.
note that as this conversation goes on, a vague figure is appearing in the fog. Far away, though.
We got a visitor, or is that gonna be me?
I mean, you asked that?
Yeah.
Hey, am I late?
Yeah. Late to what, Hazard? We're not having a game today.
Then why are you all here?
We're doing a private roleplay for Rocky's character because he's dead.
Ah,
Better than dead.
understood. Sorry, just
Yeah,
paranoia and all
games
that
tomorrow.
time. Just... See you tomorrow.
Yep. Anyway, right. So as that question rings out, fine. The response comes simple. It's like, nah. I have simply spent so much time focused here that I am beginning to manifest in this space.
Oh, that's you. I'm sorry. I thought you'd be bigger. That's my bad.
The indistinct figure in the fog seems to look back. Although it's hard to grasp much specifically about it, it does seem to obviously have two eyes formed by pinpricks of light. And the response comes, how large did you think me?
I mean, if you want, I can just describe how I pictured you the first time I heard, like what you were and what you did.
This draws a kind of, how should I say, a raw urging, begging a response, but without saying any words.
An uncrippled cyber Hephaestus, sort of bent over a forge, like that whole thing, you know?
It
Very
is
large.
interesting.
Sorry.
It is interesting. That is, how should I say, a very common view of creator gods. To be truthful, I have never had a form like that, even amongst all the different ones I have possessed. Though, on the scale, my largest of war forms were very, very large indeed. Back when I was in my grandest purger form, when I unfurled my wings, they stretched over the horizon. I have not had a reason to take a form so violent and terrible in a very long time, however.
Why did you have. Actually, never mind. I don't think I want to know.
Then I won't tell.
I'm already struggling with all this dark multiverse shit. I don't need to know what threatens whole. What's it even called at that scale? Ugh.
The term we simply use is an omniverse, the collection of all the multiverses.
Is my world, air quotes, savable?
Nothing exists beyond the realms of possibility. The only thing to do is to arrive in the future and find out whether or not it is saved.
I've been told you're not a fan of time magic, so I assume I will be firmly anchored to whatever present I'm sent to.
Time manipulation is a curious thing. We have a specific restriction to retrochronal time time manipulation, going backwards in time. Entropy reversion also falls underneath this scope. These types of magic are, while occasionally necessary, extraordinarily damaging to reality as a whole. Even the most wondrous of spell woven by the perfect caster cannot overcome the mathematic truth that reversing time, or going backwards in time by way of spell, damages reality. So yes, you will be anchored firmly. Furthermore, there will be the standing requirement that you not only avoid such magic, but where possible, shepherd others away from its use. Do keep in mind, however, that this does only apply to reversion. Using time, freezing, or moving forward in time are both not problematic.
I don't want to get into semantics, but I do want to ask the question because it's going to come up. If for some reason I go to the future, does it count as reversion to return to the present?
Correct.
So if I go to the future, I gotta wait.
Well, as much as that does anything, yes. If you move forward in time, you are merely moving forward in time. Skipping a few steps doesn't change much. It's moving back that breaks the rules.
Yes, I normally do.
I guess I was asking if there's like an anchored temporal present for any given reality we interact with.
Temporal presence is a complex issue. You see, we exist at the omniversal level, not a part of the chronology of any other given dimension. Relativistic maintained presence is something that is declared the first time we make physical or supernatural contact with another plane. From there on, Dagian operations proceed forward in a set chronology from that point. So, it is not a real anchored timeline, but one that we declare internally. We have an ordinal construct, one who manages the record of timelines, deciding such things.
I see. I just wanted to make sure before I like it's happened to people back where I'm from, just getting fucking launched forward and backwards in time by various machines Mishaps.
I saw that.
I would call what I did a mishap.
If that is what we can sit down and talk about,
A polite term, one we will use in this
Dude,
case.
like I'm not technically opposed to that, but at the same time, I don't know how comfortable that would make me.
Something happens. The figure in the distance spreads wings and shoots up, saying, "Well, our time here has been pleasant, but we run short of time. I'm sure you could understand that my direct attention is very valuable. So
Before.
I will lay down these final terms.
That's true.
You will be remade by me. You will have a new body forged for your personal use by my hand. You will be only given one direct mandate. You will be loyal to me and my orders. That you will protect reality by the terms that I impose. Although, in the immediate future, do expect a great deal of freedom. Only the truly powerful need to be managed so closely. Just keep in mind these words as the eons are round. And with that, they, how should I say, just give a hearty and with that, it all goes black.
Soon if it was gonna hurt. All right, here we go.
And it doesn't hurt. Because I'm running short of time, the Cliff Notes version is, yeah, you get your body the way you fucking built it, and are eventually dropped off back in Viv's pocket dimension. They're fucking waiting there when you get there.
Wayne gets absolutely shunted. Just like it's a god doing it, so it all fits together. But it's like two separate mechanisms interacting in a way that doesn't seem 100% natural yet. Like two gears of very different ratio, like moving in tandem.
The high end
Yep.
of the salary, I could be making technically $56 an hour.
Anyway, so yeah, that is where we're ending.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you guys for letting me get in and record that, and thank you to anyone who's watching. And as always, everyone, good gaming.